tree is just a computer powered by sunlight, running different software codes depending on the season that allows the tree to search for the right nutrients and the water it needs, or to activate an immune response system when and if attacked. The story that I'm about to share with you is in the early stages of formation. And as such, E.O. Wilson captured it perfectly when he said that in the early stages of creation of both science and art, everything in the mind is only a story. Actually, the story, or elements of the story, came as a particular experience about 30 years ago, when as a young graduate, I founded my first biotech startup in the Peruvian Amazon to develop bioproducts and biomaterials from the Amazon's biodiversity, with the explicit aim to diversify the Peruvian economy. Before I actually share with you the actual story, let me share with you an image that inspired me a few years back that hopefully will inspire you, which is that the Amazon River has so much water, fresh water, going to the oceans. 20% of the world's fresh water going to the oceans passes through the Amazon Delta, that you can actually trace a virtual Amazon River from Brazil all the way to Africa through differences in salinity. In a way, we're all connected. Now I'm going to take you through a grand tour of life in the Amazon that has already inspired and will inspire multiple innovations that we believe will help solve humanity's challenges. First, let me take you through an example of life in the soils in the Amazon. So the Amazon soils are generally very poor and sandy, but there is a unique symbiosis between fungi and the tree root system that actually enables the production of enzymes that transform cellulose into sugars, and from sugars into what the trees in the Amazon need. And these enzymes are very valuable to transform a lot of agricultural waste in the world into bioproducts and biomaterials that we need. From there, I take you to life on the soils. And just to give you one example, 200,000 army ants travel back and forth with and without food, without creating any congestion. And that has already inspired, actually, a number of patents for the world of autonomous electrical and shared vehicles of the future. Now I take you to life climbing up a tree, where the highly poisonous jararaca viper, actually when it bites you, it reduces your blood pressure to 0 very quickly. And that has inspired the development of so-called ACE inhibitors that are at the core of most modern pharmaceuticals to control blood pressure, saving people like me and potentially many of you from heart disease conditions. From there, I take you to life flying in the Amazon, where just one example of the beautiful Morpho Butterfly that has a unique nanostructure that has already inspired the development of high-precision thermal and gas sensors used in multiple industries, from healthcare to industrial applications to applications in safety and security. From there, I take you to life under the tree canopies, where the efficient processing of materials and energy and transport flows in the Amazon has already enabled the design of the new cities of the future. From there, I take you to life floating in the Amazon, where there's a gigantic genetic diversity and therefore metabolic pathway diversity that will be at the heart of developing the biomaterials and the bioproducts that we will all need cost competitively to replace petrochemical routes, for example. From there to an amazing corral system where the Amazon River meets the ocean, where life under poorly illuminated environments will for sure inspire a number of applications across multiple domains. And finally, and most importantly for us all, life that is enabled elsewhere in the world by the Amazon, by the power of the Amazon's energy and water flows and ecosystem services that it provides to the world at large. These innovations have resulted from nature working on problems, complex problems, over the last million years or so. And we posit that these will solve many of humanity's challenges, from addressing issues in healthcare, addressing issues of water, energy, food, transport, and multiple areas. But the key insight is that biological solutions, in comparison with engineering solutions, use much less energy and much more information than the engineering counterparts. And therefore, by design, they are much more sustainable. If you consider all of this, we have a strong hypothesis that there is a huge value to be unlocked of intellectual property in the Amazon that is actually much larger than the economy that currently is deployed in the Amazon, which is associated to natural resource commodities. What am I focusing on here is the current economy is based on water for hydropower, land for cattle, land for soya, underground resources for minerals, for oil and gas. We believe that the biological and the biomimetic assets of the Amazon is potentially a multiple trillion-dollar market opportunity. And the entrepreneurial revolution that is required to unlock this, we believe, may change the game. Now, a strong reason why we believe that this may be the case is that the world's biodiversity produces, known to man, about 280,000 natural products, of which we, as humans, only know how to produce 10,000 of them. Because the Amazon has about 25% of the world's land biodiversity, it is reasonable to expect that the Amazon holds the secrets to many of the natural products that will help us in the future. This is particularly the case if you consider that in the Amazon, one new species is found every 3 days. But capturing this potential over the years has not been at all easy. And at the heart of it is a deep societal fear associated to biopiracy. A quick historical context on biopiracy is a story on rubber. In the 19th century, the rubber economy in the Brazilian Amazon was extremely important for the economy, but the seeds of rubber were transported to Southeast Asia in the 19th century, and soon thereafter, the economy in Brazil related to rubber basically disappeared. There are many, many stories around this that continue to happen time and time again. And at the heart of biopiracy, really, there are radically different value systems at play, different cultural contexts at play, but most importantly, different views of knowledge. On the one hand, traditional knowledge in the Amazon is a shared good. It's a common good. It's transported from generation to generation. Versus in our world, related to innovation, we tend to package knowledge as a private good and capture rents in a monopoly for certain years, which is a good economic incentive, but it's a completely different way vis-a-vis traditional knowledge. And therefore, we need to work out how to resolve this clash of worldviews. In the meantime, over the last 12 years, the Amazon basin as a whole, 8 countries, have experimented 5 mega extreme events, 3 mega droughts, and 2 mega floods of probability of occurrence, check the maths, 1 in 200 years. What this is actually telling you, or should tell you, is that when a system oscillates between 2 extremes so violently, is that there is a phase change going on from a tropical ecosystem to a degraded savanna. In fact, these numbers are all wrong now, even after 2 weeks, because currently there is a 6th mega extreme event occurring with even a worse mega flood in process. It takes a long process to flood the Amazon. In fact, our best Earth system models tell us that we're almost set, business as usual, to lose 60% of the Amazon to a degraded savanna. If this were to happen, I think it would be game over. Game over for South America, game over for the rest of the world. What has been happening in practice is that we have been burning knowledge, just like in Alexandria in Egypt many years back. We've been burning the Amazonian Library of Alexandria, and in its place, we have been building a hypermarket to sell meat to the world. And we need to reverse that. Fortunately, over the last few years, from 2004 onwards, there has been a massive reduction in illegal deforestation in Brazil, even though it has picked up recently, making it even more urgent to address this issue. That allows us to think, this reduction, however, allows us to think that maybe there is an alternative path of development for the Amazon. Maybe there's a third way for the Amazon. This all led us to think that, in contrast to the current paradigms of development, a model 1 of development where we should protect the Amazon with a wall for the value of the ecosystem services and the biodiversity, no development possible, very idealistic and utopian, to the current mode of development, mostly, which is an approach that focuses on exploitation of natural resources, water for hydropower, land for cattle, for soybeans, underground resources for minerals, oil and gas, and so on and so forth. We strongly believe that there is a third way, and that third way is a bioeconomy-driven development model powered by the technologies of the 4th industrial revolution. Let me explain. This Amazon Third Way initiative is one in which we combine the biological assets and the biomimetic assets of the Amazon with the technologies of the 4th industrial revolution, the digital, the biological, the advanced material science technologies, to develop the applications for the future of energy, of water, of food, of healthcare, of transport, of so many industries. But we need to do that in a way that allows for value creation that is shared between the caretakers of that biodiversity and the users of that IP, so that an equitable, inclusive growth model happens. But there are many challenges that we need to work on. The first and important challenge is related to the fact that only 2% of the researchers and entrepreneurs in the Amazon work inside the Amazon. Second, that the world has lacked a legal framework to access genetic resources appropriately. And third, most importantly, it is an area which is very complex to regulate in a world in which you can combine genes and metabolic pathways from 5 different species, put in a 6th species, a yeast, and produce a a product that you need in a completely artificial way. This is why we're in the process of jump-starting and fast-tracking this innovation initiative, recruiting and convening a coalition of the willing in partnership with the World Economic Forum to basically develop what we call the ABC. The ABC, which stands for the Amazonian Bank of Codes, we're building a bank, is a bank that has 4 key functionalities. Number 1 is mapping life in the Amazon. Number 2 is certifying and registering those intellectual property assets onto the blockchain. Number 3 is codifying the rights and the obligations in those assets so that we get the benefit sharing right from the get-go. And number 4, create an exchange model to reduce the search and the transaction costs for those intellectual property assets. Let me conclude by mentioning a quote that I really like, which is that good scientists, like good innovators of any kind, are entrepreneurial, and they are the ones that are mostly get into trouble. And I personally always like to get into trouble because trouble in science means progress. Thank you.
Thank you, World Economic Forum, to invite me, and thank you for coming. It's great to see some familiar faces from Netherlands, from Korea, I see, from China. So let's discuss today, or let's explore the landscapes of the future. How can we use technology and nature and creative thinking to improve life? Yes, and to use creativity to make places which are good for people. I think that's the fascination. Clean air, clean water, clean energy. And I'll show you some examples of what we have built and some examples of what we are going to work on, which will be realized in the coming weeks. But before I dive into the storytelling, I thought I would start with a question to you guys and girls. Do you know why you cannot tickle yourself? Guys, come on. Why can you not tickle yourself? Sorry? You're aware of it. Yeah, very good. When we talk about nature, it's very interesting. So when I try to tickle myself, my body, my brain is programmed to ignore. But the moment you would tickle your neighbor right now, okay, in a hypothetical, academical way, then you would suddenly get an interaction, and that is fascinating. So apparently our nature, our human nature, is that some things we cannot do alone. Yes, you need each other to create a new interaction, a new experience. This is the essence of good design for me. This is the essence of innovation. And when I was a boy, I never stayed inside. I always went outside to nature, building tree huts, playing with the animals, swimming in the river. We were so used to customize and to personalize the world around us. But on a larger scale, when I grow up, but also from the Netherlands where I am, we do the same. This is the Afsluitdijk, the famous 32-kilometer dam built by hand in 1932, which basically makes sure that we don't die. It's because of these beauties, as we live below sea level, without these beauties, we would literally all drown. And it says something about the Netherlands that, you know, we could have moved to Germany or Switzerland. They say, yeah, come on, we're not going to fight against water. But my Chinese friends, they say, you live below sea level? Are you crazy? You know how dangerous that is, how much money, time, love, energy it costs? Yeah, you're right. But we've been doing it for over 1,000 years. So we live with nature, we fight with nature, we try to find harmony. But sometimes we forget in general. So therefore we made waterlicht, a combination of LEDs and lenses showing how high the water level would be if we stop. If we don't do World Economic Forum or interviews or thinking, if we go home and say, oh, government will take care of it, forget it. We should work together and make these kind of installations in public spaces here at Amsterdam, showing how high water level would be. You know, and some people got a bit scared. They experienced the floods in 1953. They left, you know, they left. They were like, we don't like this. It gives us a bad memory. But some were mesmerized. Can we make floating cities? Can we generate energy from the change in tide? So what can we learn from nature to improve our life, you know? How can we create a hybrid? Or here, a famous Van Gogh path. This is in the area where Van Gogh literally lived and worked in 1883. So it charges via the sun, like a solar, like a sunflower, and glows at night up to 8 hours, making landscapes which are beautiful, poetic, more safe, green energy. And this is a place you can go to every night for free in Eindhoven, the Netherlands, no ticket needed. So it sort of shows that if we combine poetry and pragmatism, you can make landscapes which appreciate nature and at the same time, you know, are not decoration, are not just to admire, but to progress, to mutate. For me, nature is not just something, oh, it's amazing. No. It's an activator. It's a pool of knowledge and information. Or this. This is my job. This is me. I do the easy part, the prototype. So we always work with a team of scientists, engineers, designers, project managers, and a desire to make things alive. Lotus. A material which, based on the heat of your breath, the 37 degrees, the 37 degrees folds open. When something becomes warm, it expands. When something becomes cold, it shrinks. This is nature. I mean, it's been around for millions of years. So can we make architecture which becomes alive? Yes? So when the sun hits it, it folds open the same way as a sunflower, you know, follows the sun and closes when nobody's there. Or reversed. When the sun hits it, it closes. Instead of these ugly sunshades which make a lot of noise and look horrible in architecture. So how can we make things more alive using principles from nature? And we like that. We learn from it. This is a Brazilian
The
guy.
amount of cement required is extraordinary. For 3 days they kept pouring until 10 tons of cement had disappeared down the tubes.
So these are the movies that we're watching in our design studio in Rotterdam.
After a month, they begin the excavation, led by Professor Luis Forci.
And this is a brilliant guy. He dedicated his whole life to discover the world of ants.
It takes weeks to uncover the secret megalopolis of the ants.
And they poured concrete in an abandoned anthill because they were curious. And look at what they discovered. Really amazing.
With the help of mechanical diggers, the scientists remove tons of earth. At last, they begin to see the structure of the city-state.
These are.
There are subterranean highways connecting the main chambers, and off the main routes are side roads. The paths branch and lead to many fungus gardens and rubbish pits. The tunnels are designed to ensure good ventilation and provide the shortest transport routes.
Okay, so basically they have air conditioning without electricity. Whoa, that's really smart.
Everything looks like it has been designed by an architect, a single mind. But of course that isn't true. This colossal and complex city was created by the collective will of the ant colony, the superorganism.
So that's also interesting. There's no boss, there's no CEO, there's no minister. No, there isn't. It's a collective. They're working together. If you Google BBC anthill concrete, you see a 2.5-hour documentary, which we are now going to watch. Yeah? We're breaking protocol. Okay, I'll be humble. But what this Brazilian, beautiful, crazy, mad scientist, which is brilliant, discovered, they had these tube systems of perfect geometry, perfect logistics. Some tubes had polluted air, some tubes had clean air. So somehow these small, super small creatures found harmony. Now back to us. We are still in a state of development as human beings, not just China, planet Earth. I became inspired by Beijing smog 3 years ago. Good day, bad day. And we decided to build the largest smog vacuum cleaner in the world to make something within the now. So it sucks up polluted air, cleans it, and then releases the clean air with the dream of clean air. This is how it starts. Very simple, very banal. You team up with smart people, put them in a room with a pizza hotline and say, nobody leaves the room until we have a solution. And we build it, the first one. So it sucks up 30,000 cubic meters per hour, with the size of a soccer stadium within a day and a half, capturing the small PM2.5, PM10 particles, the most damaging particles, and releasing the clean air. So we have parks which are 40 to 70% more clean than the rest of the city. And every week or month, it opens like a Marilyn Monroe with the. Anyway, you know what I mean. So like a spaceship. I'm not going to explain that. Yeah. So and this here. This is Beijing smog. This is the stuff we're sucking up from the sky. Yeah. Do not put this in your tea. You won't like it. Yeah. We said we should do something with this. This is not waste. Waste should not exist. The ants, they don't understand waste. Nature doesn't understand waste. They don't have this thing. We do. Why? 42% is carbon. And I'm the son of a math teacher, so I remembered that carbon under high pressure, you get diamonds, yes. So inspired by that, we compress it for 30 minutes, and we made smog-free rings. Yes? Yeah, okay. She's very happy. Yeah, okay. Yeah, please, yeah. So by sharing a ring, you donate 1,000 cubic meters of clean air. And we put this online, crowdfunding campaign. The finance we made with the jury helped us to realize the first tower. So waste wasn't the waste, it was the activator, it was the enabler, yes? But what was great, beside the money, beside the hard capital, it was the soft capital. We get photos from the community, from the crowd. They started to become activated. They wanted to be a part of it. These are, photos they sent to us. Monday morning, 8 a.m., these are the emails we're getting, where he, India couple, proposed to her with a smog-free ring to marry. Really, that's a good day, That's a good email we're getting. As a sign of hope, as a sign of beauty. And she said yes. Look at that picture there, yeah. These are the little presents you get as a designer. These are the things you hope for, you cannot control, but they happen. Prince Charles has the cufflinks. So we share them. Technology, innovation, it's not just about fact sheets and proven technology also, but it's also about making it personal, making that you care about it, yes? You need both. And right now, we are here. We're very happy to team up with the World Economic Forum to actually present Smog-Free Tower here, to push and work together with mayors, governments, makers, entrepreneurs all around the world to provide clean air. So if you like, you can go outside after this session and experience the best clean air place in Dalian. And we now also have the scientific data. This is Technical University Eindhoven to prove how it works and that it makes parks which are 40 to 70% more clean than the rest of the city. It's a local solution. One tower will not solve the whole problem. I'm aware of that. But step by step, we will upgrade reality. Also, we learn in a way. We do workshops. This is with Tongji University. Students, new ideas pop up. We're working on smog-free bicycles. I'm Dutch, so I have this bicycle DNA somewhere hidden inside of me, which suck up polluted air, clean it, and release clean air. And we'll announce, can I say this already? No, not yet. Okay, in the end of the day, or in the end of this week, we'll announce a big new smog-free bicycle campaign with a very large bike-sharing program company in China. 1.1 million shareable bikes in China. Slowly but surely, if you implement that, you will impact the type of pollution to 10, 15, 20, 40%. Step by step, step by step. Very powerful. So we're working now on this urban innovation, sewer pipe system, sucking it up, This is work in progress, but also on a larger scale. Can we not design cities where the airflow, like the anthill, it's more incorporated, you know? An old city, it's blocked. The air gets stuck. Why can we not make cities like the anthill, which have more fluid? So you'll see a lot more of urban innovations, smoke-free designs to improve life. And we look forward to spend the coming 3 to 4 years working with you on all of these things to make it happen. But of course, green energy is the true future, yes? It's like you have to brush your teeth 3 times per day to not get a toothache, but it's even better to not eat candy. Eh? And this is the struggle we are in. This is an old idea of Wubbo Ockels, a Dutch astronaut from the Netherlands who unfortunately died a year and a half ago. He had the dream of energy harvesting kites. And so this is a smart kite. It can stay up in the air for several weeks, several months. Hoppa! New prototypes. And it stays up in the air very long. And it's connected with a cable to the ground that you see here. So the kite moves, and therefore the cable goes up and down. You see, it's always searching, 150, 300 meters, it's always searching. The cable goes up and down, and therefore it generates power, electricity, in the same way like your dynamo on a bicycle generates electricity. But we wanted to add something, not just bring life to the old dream of Wubbo Ockels. So we're making the line light emitting. So you have these beautiful dancing lines of light, like a tango, and at the same time, each kite produces up to 100 kilowatts. This is enough for 200 households. Eh? Wow. Energy is everywhere. All we have to do is just harvest it. And this is a camera inside. We're still prototyping. We're launching this in November. Hoppa. So it goes up to 50, 100, 150 meter. Not bad, huh? Not a bad view. Sort of searching for the best wind. And to conclude, nature. It's incredible. We're working with light-emitting algae. These are one of the oldest microorganisms in the world. And they have a very talented skill, which is they are light-emitting when you touch them. They're very, very old, and nobody really knows why they do it. Eh? Because of communication, or to scare enemies away, or as a sort of side effect of evolution. We've teamed up with biological people, grow them liters, thousands of liters, to make the most light-emitting, most durable bacteria or microorganism, I should say, in the world. And when you touch it, here, I'll show it again, it becomes alive. For me, this is the future of energy. This is the future of lighting. Not LED, not cable, not maintenance contract, but to really make landscapes which are interactive, which are personal. And I mean, you can drink this, eh? Okay, you get a little bit of diarrhea, but I mean, it is pure nature. And it just shows that there's still so much to be explored if we have the guts to invest in new ideas, to build it, to learn from it, to make a mistake, and slowly but surely become one again. All right, thanks so much.